Okay. So anyway, it was overall a fantastic summer. This is the only summer that I really looked forward to it ending, only because that meant for us that we nailed it and that many kids got to come to camp and do something normal. Fun little thing that did happen that we noticed is all of the campers, all of them were super tired. So like, and just having that regular schedule and routine, that was great for them, but they were all really tired. We even had like a mandatory camp nap one day during basketball camp, just to like have everybody go take a little rest and drink some water and just recoup, because they were so exhausted from not having these regular schedules and all this beautiful fresh air. So but it was just a great summer. Again, I just can't thank you guys for supporting us and praying for us, because boy, I prayed a lot this summer. It was the hardest, longest, best summer ever. So I don't know. Does anybody have any other questions for me right off, or you're thinking about? Okay, well, if you think of anything, you can like type on there in the little chat box. Or at the end, we'll have a time where we'll unmute y'all and you can ask us questions too. It's so great to see so many of you.
All right. Well, next we're going to hear from two of our summer staffs.
So I'm Amber Reiner, and I was on the programming staff this summer at camp, and I absolutely loved it. It was my, thank you, Brian. It was my first time being on the program staff, so it was very different. Okay. So yeah, I basically helped like set everything up and lead all the games, and this summer went so well. I again will reiterate, we had such an amazing counselor staff. They were definitely the reason that this summer went so well, and I just really enjoyed this summer, and I think it was really good for all of our staff. And I don't think at first we realized how good it would be for us to be in such a still place and be in such a little, I guess, a home where we can just bond with other people our age and in this crazy time, and just be away from all of the school stuff and all of the outside drama going on. And I have definitely felt that leaving and starting college. These last few weeks have been very hard because I was in this beautiful, wonderful place outside of all of this for so long, and then just getting thrown back into all the COVID stuff and all the crazy things going on in our world right now, especially in Austin, Texas. It's just crazy. So yeah, it's been really interesting just being able to think back on this summer and realize how special it actually was, and how many lives that we got to change, and how much our staff just changed in general. It was really cool.
Yeah, thank you, Amber. Where do you go to school at?
Oh, Concordia University, Texas. Woo. Yep. I'm here in Austin. Yep, with Micah. He's at the dorms, but yeah. Whoosh.
Hi, I'm Micah. I'm also in Austin, but y'all kind of figured that out from Amber. I'm at Concordia right now. I was a counselor at camp. I heard about camp from Amber. Me and her had a lot of classes last year together, just like this year. I just wanted to do a church camp, and I was originally going to do a different church camp, and I switched to this one. I'm glad I did, because I would not have had church camp had I had stuck with the other camp. And I met all of these nice people. Well, some of them, most of them. But I enjoyed camp as a counselor. I really enjoyed getting to know the kids. Most of them were a lot of fun, and then a couple of them weren't as fun as the others, but I think that was on me for some other reason. But it was a really good time. It was really cool to see the kids change as the week went on. I worked with the music staff, and at the beginning of the week, like nobody would sing or dance or do anything when we did camp songs. And by the end of the week, everybody that was too cool was not too cool. So it was a really cool time. I guess that's pretty much it. I'm glad to be back in Texas though. So
Hey everybody, it's Mel from Camp Trinity. It's south of Big Fork, and we would love to have you down at camp this summer. We're looking forward to a great summer with lots of campers, beautiful weather, and we have camps for all ages from 5 years old all the way up through high school. Plus our 2 very popular sports camps, basketball and volleyball. Or you can bring the whole family and come to our family camp and register at trinitylutherancamp.org. We'll see you at camp.
For people that weren't here last year, just want to tell you a few things that we have planned for the future. Like for example, we have one cabin that has these nice wooden bunk beds. The metal ones get to be kind of squeaky, and so we want to make it more of a family-friendly camp by having at least one bed that for mom and dad and beds for kids. We've been getting a lot of larger families lately, and so that's been really nice. They really appreciated being able to have like mom and dad and 7 kids in one cabin. So anyway, also too, I know our basketball camp people are interested in seeing a sports pavilion up in the upper village there. There's kind of a clearing up there. And so that'll be in the future someday, hopefully sooner than later. But part of it will be covered and part will be open air. And this will give us a chance to play and do activities when it's raining, because sometimes it rains at camp and then we have to do inside things. And especially with COVID and stuff, it's nice to have this open air facility where everybody can get together and not just part of the camp and so forth here. If you see here, this is the map of the camp, and you can see we have about 40 acres, and we really only use about 15 acres. And so eventually we want to do some things in the upper area there, past the boys area, past the upper village, and maybe doing some kind of like a retreat center. We're also talking about a new dining hall someday. This is kind of a plan from a few years ago, and with different things here and all that. So anyway, but the whole thing though is not just about building buildings and making and glorifying Camp Trinity, but to glorify God and worship Him in all that we do.
So yeah, camperships, what they are is it's an opportunity for us to offer a family or let's say it's just different, like maybe a camper that they have a financial hardship, or they just have maybe they're like some of our foster care kids that we've had. We've been starting to see more foster families reaching out and asking for us to, if they have any way of us helping them out. So we have a need for our campership program, and so we offer a couple different scenarios. One is a full campership, which helps pay for the camper, the full registration fee for them to attend camp for the week. We also have a partial campership, which is just pay half. And then the third option is pay what they can. So if they feel like that they can pay something, whatever that amount is, that's what we take. But we never turn anyone down, because it's so important for us to make sure that all kids get to come and attend camp and experience Jesus here. So we want that opportunity. So that's our main focus for our camperships, and our Dinner by the Dock Zoom fundraiser is for that reason. We want to raise funds for that account that we have set aside that is specifically for camperships. Last summer, we gave close to 25 camperships out. This summer, we did give less. I don't know why, because we had more campers. So I'm not sure what, if people were just financially blessed through different ways this summer or not. But it has just been such a need that we continually to see, and we would just really like to build up that fund for our future camps. And even sometimes this happens even just for like in the winter retreats. So, and our winter retreats are pretty affordable, but we've had families too that are like, we just don't have $30 for them to come for the overnight retreat. So my daughter can't go. It's like, oh, they're going. We'll cover that, because we want them to come out here and grow in their faith and have that opportunity. So yeah, that's a little bit about our camperships.
Here, Brian, former director at Camp Trinity, is going to say a few words.
Yeah, Pastor introduced me. My name is Brian Schwartz. I've had the opportunity to be part of camp since '99 when Heidi and I moved here. We took a short sabbatical. We were gone for, I think, 3 years, and then God's plan ultimately brought us back to have us help at camp. So, and Mel had talked about camperships, and there's sacrifice involved for people paying for the camperships. And it brings the question, well, why is that important? And being down at the camp and working down at the camp for a number of years, you get to see the impact, and you'll have parents come in and tell you how their children have changed from just a week of camp and positively affected their family. There were times where I'd be down at the camp by myself and random cars would just drive up. People not even from our state, and you strike up a conversation with them, and they talk about all of the memories they had from the short period of time that they had at camp. And these were times where they were making Christian friendships. They were, having time to meditate on God's word and being guided by counselors and pastors down that path. And it just made a long-term impact for them. And not only just the setting that they're in, but camp provides a unique opportunity for us to witness. The sports camps, for example, will bring in kids like that don't have a church home, but their draw is to increase their basketball skills. But it provides counselors an opportunity to witness to them, or in our youth camps as well. Kids that haven't gone to camp before, but their friends are coming, so they're going to go with their friends to the camp. And once again, it gives us a great opportunity to witness to somebody new. Bill Ludwig was, he ran the camp for over 35 years. And a lot of times when he was going to ask me something, he'd always start it with, or ask me to do something down at the camp. He'd just always say, what a pleasure it is to serve the Lord. And service down at the camp comes in many different ways. From labor of just doing routine maintenance to, building projects down there. Donations, went everything from, I had one parent bring down a whole drawer of ping pong balls one time, just because that would help kids enjoy camp a little better. And sometimes those donations are entire cabins. But what we're talking right now is about just financial support with camperships. And those camperships, they cover the cost, help to cover the cost of, food and utility bills and expenses that are there to operate the camp. And it affects so much change for those children, and it helps them. They're creating those memories, and camp just creates. It's almost a refuge from all the social pressures, especially that the kids are dealing with nowadays. And just to see the kids relax, their shoulders drop, the smiles come out, and it's not always right away, but usually by the end of the week, you see a major change in the kids. So, and now I get to see that with my kids, which is pretty cool. And our kids are working down there and playing down there. And so the financial support of these camperships helps continue the ministry down at the camp. And I asked you to please consider and pray about supporting this ministry.
Well, thanks a lot, Brian. This past year, even though we did have a very successful summer camp season, one thing that did suffer was our retreat season. We had lots of retreat groups. Most of them were like out of town family reunions or other kinds of events. And a lot of them, since they were out of state, they ended up canceling. But then God did send some other local people in here. Like then we had the Thimble Club from our church use the camp because it was open and available. And so they got to do some sewing and things like that for missions and so forth here. But financially, we actually ended up losing about $40,000 in potential income from those retreats that canceled, and which is we're not about money, but the money helps us in our mission. And so that's kind of what what's disappointing is that, we would love to be able to offer more scholarships for people by using that, those funds, and those are no longer available. But we know that God is a good God, and He will help us and get through all this here. Okay, so as far as like part of this thing here is letting you know how you can support your camp. The way to do that, and I'm just going to show it to you, and you can do it anytime you want. But if you follow along, you'll at least know what we're doing here. This is something kind of new, because since our church has an app, we're obligated to use the app for all of our ministries for online donations from now on. And so to do that, to donate online, you scroll to the bottom of the page at that link, trinitykalispell.org/giving. And then what you do is you choose the Trinity Lutheran Camp section. Okay, there's like Trinity Lutheran Church, School, Child Care Center, and Camp. Make sure and click on Trinity Lutheran Camp, because that'll change the options down below here. So, because unless you want to give to our church general fund here, the next thing you do is you click on the fund, and then you want to click on Trinity Camp Scholarship Fund. Now, if at another time or whenever you want to give to the camp's general fund or the camp's building fund, you can certainly do that. If some of those exciting, like a new dining hall or whatever, is something that you want to donate $1 million to, you can certainly do that right through here. But anyway, so then, and you kind of have to do this in order. You have to start with campus and then go to fund, because if you do it in the opposite, it's going to mess you up here. Then you can choose either a one-time gift or weekly or monthly here. And then you click in the amount. You type in how much you want to give. And then you click next. And then that will take you to the option to either sign up or log in. And since probably none of you have been on our app before, you'll want to sign up. So you can either do it with email or with Facebook. Probably the easiest way to do it is just to do it through email here. And then you can fill in your name, last name, email, create a password of some kind, and then you'll send. Then it'll say, "Hey, we're going to send you a link to your email." Then you click on that, and then that will take you to the next screen, which is a payment method. You can either use a credit card or a bank account, and then once you get that set up, then you can type in your, like, let's say credit card. You type in all that stuff here, and use the zip code of that your bill comes to, and then it'll confirm everything that you want to donate to Trinity Lutheran Camp, to the Scholarship Fund, monthly or whatever here, and then you have a choice here. You don't have to check this, but if you check this little box here, it means that you will pay the credit card fees instead of having the camp pay it. But it's fine either way, because we're happy to have your donation, however that comes here. And so that's pretty much it. You just donate online at trinitykalispell.org/giving. But if you want to do it through the mail, that is also a great option, because you don't have to worry about the credit card fees, especially with that $1 million gift. Those credit card fees are really, really high. So anyway, but you want to use the church address and not the camp address, just because Big Fork Post Office is kind of goofy about getting us our mail. And we've had stuff get stolen, although now we have a locking mailbox. But it's just always best to give it directly to the camp at the church address right there on the website there. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have.